Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Brilliant Bankers, where you can expect in-depth classes on exams conducted by IIBF, myself Jishma, and today. So next, as I said in my previous video, in this session, we will be seeing fraud investigation. Okay. So what the fraud investigation of a suspected fraud or an exceptional in transaction or a customer dispute or alert in a bank shall be undertaken by fraud risk management group, specific committee or team of employees constituted to examine suspected fraud, external agencies if any, as appointed by the function. So fraud investigation function, it is widely accepted that fraud investigation is a specialized function. The fraud risk management group should undergo continuous training to enhance its skills and competencies. The first step in an investigation process is gathering the details, transaction details, that is, document and complete details of the customer or an employee or vendor. In order to investigate into a suspected case, the group would adopt various advanced techniques, including computer forensics, forensic accounting, and tools to analyze large volume of data. This investigation team, may conduct an oral interview of customer or employees to understand the background of details of the case. In case of interview of the person accused, investigation group should follow a prescribed procedure and record statements appropriately. The investigation activities need to be carried out discreetly and within a specified time limit. The investigation team should take into account that relationship of the involved parties within the bank while investigating and submitting an investigation report. The investigation team will help the respective business groups take a decision on all the relationships of the customer with the bank. So the investigation report should conclude whether a suspected case is a fraud, and thereafter the report would form the basis for further actions such as regulatory reporting. In case of an employee involvement in the fraud, the investigation report may be the basis of staff accountability and HR actions. During the course of investigations, banks should adopt only means permitted by the law, regulations, and code of conduct by the bank. And any inconvenience to customers or general public should be avoided. It is also important that certain investigations are carried out by law enforcement authorities, and the bank should refer this case to such authorities at the appropriate time to enable them to carry out their responsibilities efficiently. In case the investigation team should seek the support of their specialist group within the bank, such as the audit group, to carry out the investigations efficiently. At times, investigation of a fraud wherein money has come into the country to an account in a bank through another bank in the same country needs to be done. The intermediary bank does not investigate or report the case, stating that intermediary, while the recipient bank states that it has no knowledge or that of the transaction and it is merely a recipient of the funds sent by the intermediary bank. In this case, it is clarified that the bank whose customer has received the money should investigate and report the case. Okay. Next is recovery of fraud losses. The concerned group in a bank in which the fraud has occurred should make all out efforts to recover the amount lost. They may be use a specialized group like legal or collection for this purpose. The investigation team also able to recover some amounts during the course of their investigation, and the police also can recover some amount of money during their investigation. This would be deposited in court pending final adjudications. The bank should liaise with the police and keep track of such amounts. Next is customer awareness on frauds. The customer awareness is one of the pillars of fraud prevention. It has been that alert customers have enabled the prevention of several frauds, and in case of frauds which could not be avoided, helped in bringing the culprit to book by raising timely alerts. Bank should thus aim at continuously educating its customers and solicit their participation in various preventive or detective measures. It is the duty of all the groups in banks to create fraud risk awareness among their respective customers. The fraud risk management group should share its understanding of frauds with each group, identify areas where customer awareness is lacking, and if required, the guide the groups on a program with customer that at least one message to make the customer aware of fraud risk. The following are some of the recommended measures to create awareness amongst the customers, and they are publications in leading newspapers, detailed do's and don'ts on the website of the bank, messages along with statements of accounts, either physical or online, messages printed on bank stationery such as envelopes, card covers, etc., SMS alerts, messaging on phone banking when the customer calls, as inserts or in the jackets of checkbooks, posters in branches and ATM centers. Industrialize on television and radio. It should be ensured that communication to the customer is simple and aimed at making them aware of fraud risks and seeking their involvement in taking proper precautions aimed at preventing frauds. So, such communication should be reviewed periodically by the fraud risk management group to judge its effectiveness. The next is creation of employee awareness. So how we can create an employee awareness to an employee. Employee awareness is a crucial to fraud prevention. Training on fraud prevention practices should be provided by the fraud risk management group at various forums. Banks may use the following methods to create the awareness. So they are classroom training programs at the time of induction or during risk related training sessions, publication of newsletters on frauds covering various aspects of frauds and containing important message on fraud prevention from senior functionaries of the bank. Next, e-learning module on fraud prevention. Online games based on fraud risks in specific products or process, e-test on prevention practices and controls. Detailed do's and don'ts put up on the work site of the employee. Safety tips flashed at the time of logging into core banking system, screensavers, etc. Email sent by the respective business heads, posters on various safety measures at the workplace, messages or discussions during daily work hurdles, rewarding employees on fraud prevention. A positive way of creating employee awareness is to reward employees who have gone beyond their call of duty and prevented frauds. Awards may be given to employees who have done exemplary work in preventing frauds. So, details of employees receiving such awards may be published in fraud newsletters. Okay. So, next is incident management. So, we are going to see what is incident management. So, incident management is defined as a process of developing and maintaining the capability to manage incidents within a bank so that exposure is contained and recovery achieved with a specific time objective. So, this can include the misuse of computing assets or information disclosure or events that threaten the continuance of business process. Have listed some activities that need to be a part of the incident management framework. The first one is developing and implementing process for preventing, detecting, analyzing, and responding to information security incidents. Next, establishing escalation and communication process. Developing plans to respond to and document information. Establishing the capability to investigate information. Developing a process to communicate with internal parties and external organizations. Integrating information security incident response plans with the organization disaster recovery and business continuity plan. Next, organizing training and equipping teams to respond to IS incidents. Next, periodically testing and refining IS incidents response plans. And the last one is conducting post-mortem analysis and reviews to identify causes. Okay, so the common incident types include, but not limited to outages or degradation of services due to hardware, software, or capacity issues, unauthorized access to systems, identity theft, data leakage or loss, malicious software and hardware failed backup process, denial of service attacks, and data integrity issues. A bank needs to have a clear accountability and a communication strategies to limit the impact of information security incidents through the defined mechanism escalation and reporting to the board or senior management and customer communication, where appropriate incident management strategies would also typically assist in compliance with regulatory requirements. The institution would also need to proactively notify regarding cybersecurity incidents. So, all security incidents or violations of security policies should be brought to the notice of CISO. CIOSO. It should be noticed to CISO. So, that's all for today's video. So, we have discussed the incident management and fraud investigation. So, thank you for watching my video. Hope you like my video. If you like, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.